So from IAS Baba Daily Current Affair IAS UPSC Prelims and Mains Exam 21st January 2023. So first topic is Banjaras and Hakkupatra. Syllabus Prelims History and Economic Context. Recently Prime Minister of India symbolically distributed Hakkupatra land title deeds to 5 families of the Banjara Lumbini community, a nomadic scheduled caste group in Karnataka. About Banjaras. The Banjaras are a key scheduled caste subgroup in Karnataka, although they are considered to be a tribal group in terms of the lives they lead. The scheduled caste and scheduled tribes together make up nearly 24% of the state population. The Banjara are a historically nomadic trading caste who may have origins in the Mewar region of what is now Rajasthan. So fire dance, ghumar dance and chari dance are the traditional dance forms of Banjaras. Banjaras have a sister community of singers known as Dadhis or Gajugonia. They are traditionally traveled from village to village singing songs to the accompaniment of sarangi. The Banjara community has been listed as a scheduled tribe in the states of Andhra Pradesh, Telangana and Odisha. They were designed as an other backward class in Chhattisgarh, Gujarat, Haryana, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra and Rajasthan. So they were designated as a scheduled caste in Karnataka, Delhi and Punjab. About Hakku Patras or title deeds. A title deed is a property ownership document and the bearer of the document owns the land. The title deeds enable owners to avail of bank loans with the said document. They will also be eligible to buy or sell land to which the title deeds is granted by the government. So previous year question. So first question is which one of the following phrases defines the nature of the Hundi generally referred to in the sources of the post Harsha period 2020. So an advisory issued by the king to his subordinates. Second, a diary to be maintained for daily accounts. Third, a bill of exchange. And fourth, an order from the feudal lord to his subordinates. So correct option is a bill of exchange. Second is export promotion capital goods scheme. So context, the Indian government has announced a one-time relaxation from maintaining average export obligation and an option to extend the export obligation period for certain sectors under the export promotion capital goods scheme. About capital goods. Capital goods are physical assets that a company uses in the production process to manufacture products and services that consumers will later use. Capital goods include buildings, machinery, equipment, vehicles, and tools. Capital goods are not finished goods, instead, they were used to make finished goods. The capital goods sector has a multiplier effect and has bearing on the growth of the user industries as it provides critical input, that is machinery and equipment, to remaining sectors covered under the manufacturing activity. About EPCG scheme. So about export promotion capital goods scheme. EPCG scheme was launched in the 1990s to facilitate import of capital goods with the aim to enhance the production quality of goods and services, thereby increasing India's international manufacturing competitiveness. Under the scheme, manufacturers can import capital goods for pre-production, production and post-production goods without attracting any custom duty on them. The second-hand capital goods may also be imported without any restriction on age under the EPCG scheme. The EPCG scheme is administered by the Directorate General of Foreign Trade (DGFT) and is governed by the Foreign Trade Policy of India. It can be explained as duty-free, zero customs duty import of capital goods, machinery for the manufacture of products meant for export. Eligible sectors. The sectors that are eligible for this relief are the hotel, healthcare and educational sectors. These sectors will also have the option to extend the export obligation period for a longer duration without having to pay any additional fees. Eligibility criteria for applying under EPCG scheme. Benefits under EPCG scheme can be applied by any exporter irrespective of his turnover. EPCG license can be issued to the following category of exporters: manufacturer exporter, merchant exporter with a supporting manufacturer, and then service provider who is exporting services, for example hotel industry. New norms: import of capital goods are allowed duty free subject to an export obligation. The authorization holder or exporter under the scheme has to export finished goods worth 6 times of the actual duty saved in value terms in 6 years. Request for export obligation extension should be made within 6 months of expiry instead of the earlier prescribed period of 90 days. However, applications made after 6 months and up to 6 years are subject to be late fee of rupees 10,000 per authorization. According to the changes, request for block-wise export obligation extension should be made within 6 months of expiry. However, applications made after 6 months and up to 6 years will entail a late fee of rupees 10,000 per authorization. The facility to pay customs duty through SCRIPS MEIS mercantile exports from India scheme, remission of duties or taxes on export product, RODTP, ROSCTL, rebate of state and central taxes and levies for default under EPCG has been withdrawn. Previous year question. So first question is, rapid financing instrument and rapid credit facility are related to the provisions of lending by which of the following? Asian Development Bank, IMF, UNEP Finance Initiative या World Bank. So correct option is IMF. With reference to foreign owned e-commerce firms operating in India, which of the following statements are correct? They can sell their own goods in addition to offering their platforms as marketplaces. Second, the degree of to which they can own big sellers on their platforms is limited. Select the correct answer using the code given below. A 1 only, B 2 only, C 1 and 2 both, D neither 1 nor 2. So correct option is 2 only, B 2 only. So shadow banning. In context, Elon Musk used the term shadow banning in the context of the so-called Twitter files, internal company documents that were released with Musk authorization. About shadow banning, the term often refers to stealth actions by social media platforms to limit a post's visibility. The term shadow ban traces back to 2012 when Reddit users accused the platform's administrators of banning a link to a Gawker article while publicly campaigning transparency. Shadow bans refers to be a web moderation technique in online forums and social platforms where a user or a user's content is blocked without it being apparent to them that they have been blocked. It can be described users' general discontent about not getting the attention they believe they deserve on social media, even if they don't necessarily think a platform has engaged in any clandestine moderation. Concerns of shadow banning. Private companies are allowed to make their own rules about content moderation, but for advertisers, users, and free speech champions, true shadow bans are problematic because they enforce unarticulated rules secretly. They allow a company to avoid taking responsibility for moderating content while quietly manipulating its flow, and those who are silenced have no process for emerging from the shadows. Reasons for a shadow ban. So, one of the major 5 types of shadow ban reasons. And previous year question. Consider the following communication technologies. First, second, and third. First is closed circuit television. Second, radio frequency identification. Third, wireless local area network. Which of the above are considered of the short range devices or technologies? 2022. A, B, C, or D? So here 1, 2, and 3, all 3 is the correct answer. So second question is, with the present state of development, artificial intelligence can effectively do which of the following? So bring down electricity consumption in industrial units, creative meaningful short stories and songs, disease diagnosis, text to speech conversion, wireless transmission of electrical energy. So select the correct answer, use the code given below. So all five options are correct. So our next topic is annual status of education report ESSER. So context: ESSER, a nationwide citizen-led household survey that provides a snapshot of children's schooling and learning in rural India, has been released. About ESSER. The report is prepared by Pratham Education Foundation. The 2022 edition of the survey was done at a national level after 4 years due to the COVID-19 pandemic. This is an annual survey that aims to provide reliable annual estimates of children's schooling status and basic learning levels for each state and rural districts in India. So ESSER has been conducted every year since 2005 in almost all rural districts of India. So ESSER is the largest citizen-led survey in India. It is also the only annual source of information on children's learning outcomes available in India today. So unlike most other large-scale learning assessments, ESSER is a household-based rather than school-based survey. This design enables all children to be included, those who have never been to school or have dropped out, as well as those who are in government schools, private schools, religious schools, or anywhere else. Major highlights of the information collected: information on schooling status is collected for all children in the age group of 3 to 16. Then children in the age group 5 to 16 are tested in basic reading and basic arithmetic. Then basic information is collected on school infrastructure, enrollment, attendance, teachers, and fund flows. Then since 2010, ESSER has tracked selected right to education indicators as well. So key highlights of the report: enrollment in government schools have increased significantly since 2018. In 2018, the number stood at 65.6%. The period 2006 to 2014 saw a steady decrease in the proportion of children aged 6 to 14 enrolled in government school. The proportion of children aged 6 to 14 enrolled in government school increased sharply from 65.6% in 2018 to 72.9% in 2022. Overall, in the age group of 6 to 14 years, the enrollment rate now stands at 98.4%, an increase from 97.2% in 2018. So, enrollment of girls. The number of girls in the age group 11 to 14 years who do not go to schools has also decreased by 2% in 2022 compared to 4% in 2018. This figure is around 4% only in UP and is lower in all other states. The decrease in the proportion of girls not enrolled in school is even sharper among older girls in the 15 to 16 age group. In 2018, this figure stood at 13.5%. The proportion of 15 to 16-year-old girls is not enrolled has continued to drop, standing at 7.9% in 2022. In only 3 states, the number of girls not going to school in above 10%, MP 17%, UP 15%, and Chhattisgarh 11.2%. Decrease in reading and arithmetic skills. Nationally, children's basic reading ability has dropped to pre-2012 levels, reversing the slow improvement achieved in the intervening years. Drops are visible in both government and private schools in most states and for both boys and girls. In both government and private schools, only 21.5% schools of class 3rd can read compared to 27.3% in 2018. Similarly, the proportion of class 5th students who can read has dropped to 42.8% in 2022 compared to 50.5% in 2018. This decrease is smaller in the case of class 8th students, 6% in 2022 compared to 73% in 2018. Children's basic arithmetic levels have also declined compared to 2018. The proportion at the national level now stands at 25.9% compared to 28.2% in 2018. In the case of class 3rd students, 25.6% compared to 27.9% in the case of class 5th students. Private tuition. The number of students taking private tuition classes has increased. As per the ESA 2022 report, the percentage of class 1st to 8th students taking tuition classes is at 30.5% in 2022 compared to 26.4% in 2018. School facilities. The fraction of schools with usable girls' toilets increased from 66.4% in 2018 to 68.4% in 2022. Sorry if I am wrong, then I again repeat. Usable girls' toilet increased from 66.4% in 2018 to 68.4% in 2022. The proportion of schools with drinking water available increased from 74.8% to 76%, and the proportion of schools with books other than textbooks being used by students increased from 36.9% to 44% over the same period. Most sports related indicators also remain close to the levels observed in 2018. In 2018,